to today's session, as indicated presented to you by IAE Aix Graduate School of Management, with speakers actually with us today. And first of all, Carolina Serrano is with us, and I'll unmute your line. Hello, good afternoon, Carolina.
Good afternoon.
Available and being with us. Carolina, you're the academic director of the program. Great, and we'll be hearing from you shortly. With you also is Antje Sainte-Rose. Good afternoon, Antje.
Hello.
I'll be hearing later from you as well. Antje is the MBA development manager. She'll introduce herself later on. We're also glad to have actually an alumni with us, Claus Hirtzmann. If I say that correctly, Claus. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and yeah, you said that correct. Thank you very much.
So Claus is currently working as a senior management at the corporate strategy at Amadeus, and will give insight of why he chose the MBA and some of the real benefits he got out of it. And even to his current position at Amadeus. So from Claus in a little bit as well. All these great speakers line up. We hope, of course, to give you good, valuable information in the next, approximately an hour. Could be shorter, depending on the questions, of course, you have. But we hope, and presenters are there to answer them for you. Without further ado, I'd like to over to Carolina. I'm giving you the control, and perfectly. You have the control, and introduce us briefly to yourself and the graduate management.
Thank you very much, Luc. I'm extremely happy to be here with Antje and Claus, first with you, Luc, and of course with the audience who is listening to us and spending their time with us. So I really appreciate that, because it's an opportunity for us to introduce our MBA, our full-time MBA that we call Change and Innovation, and I will explain a little bit later why. But at least I can say that this is, as all alumni that go through the MBA, are really a real transformative experience for MBA graduates going through the program. So here we have the IAE Aix-en-Provence Graduate School of Management, the business school of Aix-Marseille University, as you can see on the screen. Is to find a way to present you this MBA in such a way that it's not too boring. So we are not going to give all of you a lot of information. We think we have identified the major information that can be of interest to all of you, and that is what we consider you value when you are looking for MBA, to know who we are and who we are not. So our MBA Change and Innovation is definitely a general as including, let's say, the curriculum of any high-level MBA and following the MBA standards and rankings. This is what, once I've said that, I won't go through all the details of the fundamental business courses that you will find in our MBA, as you would find in any MBA out of the market. We are accredited by the Association of MBA since 2004. And the business school is accredited EQUIS since 1999. Okay, and our general management program is ranked by the Financial Times. This leads us to say that, let's say, the quality of the program is there. We don't need to somehow defend it. And this is why I would like to focus on things that differentiate us. You can see in this slide the of some of the MBAs that you can find in France, and you find our MBA IAE Aix 12 months in Aix-en-Provence for a great value for money proposition, 22,000 euro, with an age of 34 years, and half of the class is non-French. So this is part also of our strategy. We want to have, like in some other schools, a full international court. We like to, because it's an MBA that's in France, we would like to have French people who are going to become international or to strengthen their international position, and to welcome half of the class with MBA people, candidates who are coming from all over the world. But let me put some in my explanation. And here is what we would like to propose you. I think what we really have something more to offer beyond the quality, let's say, so of the program itself. And we have identified 10 very good reasons to join us. Let's go through these reasons. First reason is the level of internationalization of the program. It's an international MBA program because it is up in France, in the south of France. It is taught 100% in English. 50% of the cohort are international participants, and since the beginning of the MBA, we have welcomed 47 different nationalities. This program that started in 2000 the year 2000. So this first idea, it is very international, but at the same time I tell you it's international, it's also absolutely totally anchored and embedded in region. And the region is the south of France. What do I mean by that? I mean that if you get a very international teaching and a very international curriculum, you also have some teaching about the French culture, about the French language. You leave the year, if you wish it, of course, because you need to work out it, knowing French language quite well. And you will be also knowing all the industry of the south of France. South of France is represented here for us by the Aix-Marseille-Provence area, which is the second largest metropolitan area after Paris. We find a lot of culture, tradition, and wonderful places when it comes to nature. So if you like nature, this is a nice place to come. And at the same time, we also have a lot of innovation. It means that in this area, the French government and the French industry is developing lots of small and medium companies that are creating new ventures, new projects, and with a lot of innovation and supporting institutions to innovation. So I will say a word later. If you want to become an entrepreneur, this is also one of the nice MBAs you can do to get your own company. 1 million inhabitants area here with a large surface. A lot of businesses. Here we have some big companies that are very well known. We have Eurocopter, for instance. We have ITER, we have Gemalto. All these companies are very well known here. But not only this, we have lots, over 190,000 small businesses. So lots of areas of expertise with the seaport of Marseille, which is the second largest seaport in the Mediterranean. An international airport, the high-speed train that takes 3 hours to Paris. That's important because we are very often in Paris. And the highway hub that allows you to go in 4.5 hours if you respect, let's say, good conditions, 4.5 hours to Milan or to Barcelona. And this leads me to show you a little bit where we are. So there you see Aix-en-Provence in the south of France. Not far from Barcelona, not too far from Milano, quite close to Geneva, 3 hours from Paris, or 1 hour and 10 minutes with a flight. We're really in the center of Europe, and this is quite important for us because we really like you to discover this region. At the same time, you have a very globalized and international MBA. And here we zoom over to Aix-en-Provence. So you see that Aix-en-Provence is the city close to Marseille. Marseille, for your information, is this year the European cultural capital. There's a lot happening in Marseille. And there you have 30 kilometers from Aix. You have the airport, and 20 kilometers from Aix, you have the high-speed train station. Okay, up there in the north of Aix, you have our School of Management. So it's important to let you know where we are. Third point is, once I've told you it's how international we can be embedded out of France, it's also important to know that we are the business school of the largest university in France. Aix-Marseille University is the result since 2012 of the merger of the local universities, and it became the university hosting 70,000 students. I mean 70,000 students. Okay, and we are the business school of this public university with 800 students. 200 of them are executives, including the MBAs. Let's say about 450 are MSCs, Master Science Level students, and the rest are PhD students. Okay, we are one of the biggest D-Lab in France. Here of the central office of the university in Marseille. That we have talked about our big university, but we're mainly small. Business school itself is small, and we want to remain small, because small is, for us, we think, to remain strong. But how can we remain strong? We can remain strong with the networking. Get networks that really work and that we can offer you. We need to have values. And the values, and maybe Claus will say a word about this a little bit later, we really have a value of proximity. Proximity with students. It means that we are a small team, we are a very nice pool of professors, and we interact very often with the students, with the participants. Authenticity. What do we mean by that? We mean that is saying to you, applying to us, that we have to be true, that we have to show a lot of integrity in this world. Interaction. It means that it's about creating our relationships, creating networks, and feedback. It's about really constantly learning from what you tell us about us and what we tell you about you, and interacting and debating together. So it's quite a very open-minded set of values that we like to have in the school, and this allows us to develop the networks. Networks, let me give you some examples, like the Executive MBA network. Like you, full-time MBA students, potential students, to get to know all our Executive MBA, get to know all our MBA alumni, to also get to know the region. As I told you, one region is a very interesting one, because somehow showing at the same time a lot of history and a lot of culture, and at the same time a lot of modern stuff. And here we have an example. We have a partnership with Ballet Prêche Locage and Pavillon Noir in Aix-en-Provence. It means that you get one of the courses that is about contemporary dance, because this helps become a better leader. I don't tell you much more about it, but we have find this managing your body in such a way that it enhances the capacity of being creative and managing your stress to have better open-mindedness. Then we have some networks like Carne. Carne means career network with other universities and business schools all around Europe. But we get together, we put our strengths together in order to create a career network that can provide you with lots of opportunities. We also network a lot with the AMBA Association. Of course, we have international partner universities. One of the most interesting partners we offer you is the FIA in Brazil, which is the Universidad of Sao Paulo, the largest and most important university in Brazil, by which some of their MBA students come to visit us for one full month in January, and they stay with us for one of the major courses of the year. We also have Politecnico Milano. You're going to go for a study tour in Milano for 1 week to attend their design management course. And they will coming to our school, to our MBA to attend the leadership course. We also have exchange partnerships with, for instance, IAE in Gorgon, India, and with other schools in India, and also with French engineering schools that are going to attend some of our key leadership-oriented courses with us. And the idea behind here is not only to provide all these fellows with our teaching, it's also to enlarge the network for you and the network of tomorrow. I've said that. I would like now to focus about the quality of our professors. I really think this fifth reason why you should join our MBA is the quality of our professors, because most of them hold a PhD. When I say most of them, and why not all of them, because we also like having people from the industry coming to teach and to share their experience with you. But also the professors are very well-known consultants in major international firms, in addition to the teaching and to the researching. Why is that important to us? Because we need, at the same time, we reflect on management and create, enhance some theories that we will share with you. We need to keep in touch with the field. We need to keep constantly in touch with what is happening around there in companies. Listen to the managers, listen to the top managers to know what is happening there. There are some examples of the people who are coming to teach in our MBA. We have, for instance, Professor Leonard Ortolano from Stanford Business School. We have Professor Marian Powers from Kellogg School of Management. We have Professor Maurice Sayas from our school, IAE Aix-en-Provence. But if you don't mind typing Maurice Sayas on Google, you'll see that he is a star in strategy management teaching. Example. The sixth reason why you should come here is because we are going to teach you think out of the box, and I would go beyond that. I have a colleague, Pierre Cass, who says it's enough to think out of the box. Now we have to create a new box, okay? And so we have some courses that I already mentioned before that really are different from the classical academic courses, by which we really like to provoke your creativity and your capacity to get in touch with your intuition and to put it at service of the companies. So this leads me to the general program structure, how it looks like. So I promised not go too much into details about the year, but let me just give you the main families of courses you're going to get. You get a language training at the beginning. So it's for the French people, an intensive English language training. For the non-French people, an intensive French language training. Then there's some fundamental business competencies through the courses. There will be advanced courses and electives. You have a personal development journey and leadership skills development through personal coaching all over the year with a dedicated coach for the MBAs. You have called Cézanne seminars into perspective, which are critical thinking seminars by which we don't provide you with theory, but we push you to identify what are your basic assumptions. And you're able to identify what are your basic assumptions over which you make your own decisions. So you know what are your deep values and thoughts. You have specialized MBA conferences all over the year that are open, by the way, to everyone in the school. And you have the two major projects, the business project and the consulting project. The business project is the capacity for you to create in teams a business plan that you defend in front of a committee of investors, of real investors. And the consulting project is a region of consulting that conduct in teams different organizations that can be based locally or that can be based everywhere in Europe and in the world. Okay? And then we have to go through the thesis that we call individual project that you will have to defend in front of a committee, and some months later you get your diploma. And by the way, if you come to our school, you get 2 degrees. One is the degree of Master in General Management, and the second one is the MBA degree itself. Okay, it is possible because we are a public university and we deliver national degrees. reason why you should join us is the level, the services we offer you. And I would like to pinpoint two of them. The international office. Why that? Because they are very present to help you to France. If you come from abroad, to come to the region, if you come from other regions in France or in Europe, with immigration issues, housing issues, bank issues, shopping issues, and helping you to feel at home as soon as possible. Get integrating into the French culture is challenging, is wonderful, but it's an easy one, and we support you there on that. And we also have the Career Center, where that proposes you all over the year dedicated career search workshops, online tools, career coaching, career breakfast sessions, scale meetings with recruiters, and a career expedition week to meet headhunters. This year it happened in Paris. So this leads us to really focus on not only your MBA year, but what are you going to do after the MBA? Okay, what is going to be your career? And supporting our MBA graduates to go where they want to go is part of our mission too. Here we identify some cases of MBA graduates. Sandrine Monnier, who did her MBA 10 years ago, she's the HR director of Yves Saint Laurent in France. Claus Hirtzmann, who's going to talk to you a little bit later, and he's a top manager in corporate finance and strategy at Amadeus in France. We have Wu, we have Nian Anderson, we have Vishal Tayal, we have Michael Prieto from Colombia, who is now working in Germany. All of them are some examples of our MBA graduates that are having very different profiles and are remaining very close to us too. Also a dedicated team. So working with myself, I'm a professor. I'm professor here of organizational behavior. I'm teaching within the MBA mainly change management and process consulting, and the academic director of the MBA. With Antje, that you will hear in a couple of minutes, who is our MBA development manager and who is constantly also in touch with you. And Marion Moreau, she's the MBA manager. She's the person who really helps you clarify what this MBA is all about in its details. And we have key people that will help you before arriving to France and during the year and after the year. We have Robbie. She's the national department manager, helping you to feel at home here. You have Sylvie Penet. She's the continuing education service manager. You have Delphine Paulet. She's the corporate and career services center manager in the school. And also we have a strong link with the school alumni association. As you know how key this is, and it's the president of this association is Guy Bush. He is himself an IAE Aix graduate at the service. And focus now on the 10th reason why you should come to us. And let me give the word to Antje for that.
So, nice to be with you. I'm very happy that you are there. Can you hear me? I hope you enjoy the presentation, and I hope
you still have a lot of questions because there's lots of things to say about MBA Change Innovation at our school. If you need some more information, I would like to invite you to download the brochure. You will find some information Carolina just presented in this brochure. You can also download the course catalog with more detailed information about the classes you're going to have throughout the year. This you can find on our website. You have the address there, www.mba-Aix.com. You have the application form as well to apply it online. You will follow the detailed information about requirements for application for the MBA also on the website. Need more contact Marion Moreau. She's the MBA program manager, and she will be able to help you with all the questions you might have of the program, about the application form, about coming to France, etc. She will be able to help you. If you like, and I would like to invite you to join us online, at least to me there, a flavor of the daily MBA life. Get an idea, what does it mean to involve in an MBA? What does it mean to live in France? What does it mean to involve in an MBA Change Innovation? Look at our blogspot, you will find very detailed information about the classes we do. Look if you can show an example of our blog, if you can open the link, please. Find information about the classes we have, about events, for instance, when we visit, yes, I see. When we visit the talent expert in Paris, you have the career expedition there. You have both. This was a conference. A lot of conferences we organized here. This was a conference about peace and being a leader of small and medium, and a little confused because the changing. Yeah, this is one example I really like. The management lessons at Pavillon Noir in Aix-en-Provence. We mentioned partnership with Web2present. So we went and visited the place where the performances take place, where they invite as well, and they explained us, which was very interesting as well, how this companies them tell in a way is awesome, how it functions compared to a company. To look at this blog and to get an insight about the things we do at the MBA, and you will see how rich 1 year is. I would also like to invite you to meet at least online on our Facebook page. You can have more information about the program as well, but you can also go to our group, the Alumni group, where you have with MBA graduates and the actual MBA participants. You can ask some questions if you're interested to get to know more about. And you will see our alumni group is quite diverse. You will find somebody from your country who speaks your language, or you will find somebody who works in the same company as you do. So please hesitate to contact them. They are really open to ask all the questions you might have. Same on the LinkedIn group as well. They will find more detailed information also about more related to job searching, etc. And last but not least, I would like you come and really meet us. And for open class, then you can sit in the classroom, you can be with the teachers, you can be with the present cohort, and really experience what it feels like to be an MBA student at our school. So, as we said, as Carolina said, there are at least 10 very good reasons to not. And I would like to stress the 10th reason, the best reason is, of course, you are the best reason. So please contact us online or offline. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Antje, for that session. And as you mentioned, the best ways to hear and to learn if it's valuable is, of course, for one of the students. So we have with us Claus Hirtzmann. Claus, good afternoon.
Yes.
Great, thanks for being with us. And as introduced in the beginning, you are working at Amadeus. Maybe you can briefly introduce yourself and also give your points of view on the MBA and why you chose it and how it still helps you in your current position.
With great pleasure. And to say it right away, I loved that MBA program, and it's for me a great pleasure to be available today to testify for that MBA program. So let me introduce myself and then give you some insight for why I love that MBA program and what I believe for why that MBA program is so distinctive. So from my background, I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer in electronics. I did all my studies in Germany. I'm German, and then I started my career at Hewlett-Packard in France, where I developed personal computers. Fantastic company. I worked there for about 8 years, and they had the opportunity to join an MBA program. And well, it was my pleasure to join the MBA program at the IAE Aix. It was in 2003. And I really loved that. It was like oxygen, because after my professional experience, it was just fantastic to put that experience as an engineer into some broader business perspective, and yeah, to really broaden my way of thinking, not just as an engineer. That the thinking may be more mathematically geared, like more black and white, true and false. And joining an MBA program opens really the mindset and enables to learn about thinking broadly, about thinking about topics that cannot be sharply described, really, like business topics, like human topics, like market-related topics that you can more or less describe, but there is always some uncertainty left, and we have to come to decisions despite of the lack of precision, right? And that's always the case, and I've seen this also in my professional career after the MBA. After the MBA, I joined the Mondi Business Paper Company, where I worked in the Department of Innovation, and I was responsible for new business development. And after I joined Amadeus, where I'm still working. So I joined Amadeus in the Department of Corporate Strategy, and within Amadeus I had the opportunities to evolve towards product strategy, and now I work for corporate finance. Amadeus, by the way, is a technology company, a world leader in its area. It is about global distribution of airline tickets mainly. Insurance business, and the company is, at least where I'm right now located, the central development portion with over 3,000 people on site, is located here in southern France at the French Riviera between Nice and Cannes. So did after the MBA was actually to get access to some teaching opportunities, and I'm actually teaching classes in finance, both at the IAE Aix-en-Provence, but also at the other business schools. And this gives me also an opportunity to compare against other business schools. That's from my background. And I get back to some of those points a bit. Let me maybe now start with describing for why I'm so enthusiastic about the MBA program at the IAE Aix-en-Provence, and I believe for what's so distinctive. I believe what is really important is that the entire teaching is geared towards reality, really all over the place. Carolina mentioned that all professors are consultants. That's of tremendous value. The professors bring in experience from real companies, and it's just breathtaking to listen to them. When I was in class, I was just fascinated, and I was said, well, if I would try to get this level of experience on my own, I would have to work like 150 years, right? So really breathtaking, and also all other projects are always geared towards reality. For example, the consulting project is done for real companies. This project is done up to a level of reality where we do present in front of real investors. Also the individual project, the MBA Change at the very end, is done for real companies. And all this is distinctive. Actually, when I compare to other business schools, the IAE is really particular in that point. I believe that this close attention to reality is important because this can be taught in the same way as engineering can be taught. Engineering, as I mentioned, is a reasoning in mathematical ways, in black and white, true and false. But business cannot be described in such a sharp way. As I mentioned, business is, in many respects, unsharp. We don't have all data available to take decisions, and we have to deal with aspects we cannot fully master and describe, like human aspects, like competition, like customer behavior, etc. So really, the adequate teaching style is clearly taken from experience to geared towards reality, and they really are. So a practical advantage from this, which is once you've done the individual project for a real company, you actually have great access to that company. So you actually can do your individual project as an intern, in the framework of an internship, and this clearly lowers the entry barrier and simplifies for you to get a job. It's significant. By the way, when I finished the MBA, the way I got a job afterwards was actually throughout a job fair that was organized by the MBA. You see lots of opportunities actually to get a job once you have gotten this fantastic MBA. An important reason for me to find that this MBA is distinctive of great value is its relative small size and all the Serrano seminars that Caroline has mentioned. Actually, the small size allows us to have really strong interaction, to have an intense learning experience, and then really to progress and really to understand where are our limits or where they are not. It's also important, right? It's good to understand where they are. So it's a really a laboratory to build our own experience. This Serrano seminar is clearly linked to this. It's clearly supporting this idea because, as Caroline, this Serrano seminar is putting things into perspective. It encourages you towards critical thinking. It's not all about repeating stuff you've learned. It's about applying it. It's about putting it into perspective. Fantastic. I love that. Another important reason for me to find this MBA distinctive and of great value is these specialties that are proposed. Change management is certainly something that I see of great value everywhere in any management position today. Something that just goes together with management positions. It's always there. It's just felt to have these tools available. Innovation is a no-brainer, of course. That's key in today's economy. This is what shareholders expect. We need to be tremendously innovative to maintain our margins, to stay competitive, and to exceed customer expectations. So yes, this is of tremendous value as well. I've got two comments I would like to make really practically with regards to the MBA. The first is sometimes I hear people wondering about the return on investment. When you go through, you invest 1 year of your time. For 1 year, you will not get your salary. So what is the return on this investment? And I suggest it depends clearly on you. What the MBA program does to you is it gives you options on your future. It gives you opportunities. It buys you options on responsibility, on great salaries, on different industries and different positions. It's all up to you. You can reap these fruits, you may not. It really depends on you. So it can be rewarding on the financial side. It depends on you. It can be very rewarding on the personal side, like on your personal interest, on allowing you to really focus on what you love to do, to access to responsibilities that are more in line with your personal aspirations. It can be it really depends on you. But what you get is clearly lots of opportunities. You're buying options. That's the way I look at it. A very practical point, which is about the level of there's a high level of expectations when you go through an MBA program, and you may be wondering whether once you have enrolled, you will have the opportunity to successfully complete the program. I mean, you start to invest, and you may wonder, will I get my return? Will I reap these opportunities? And I would suggest that you can trust very well the selection process. If you get admitted to the program, you can be ensured that you have got the entire potential to make it and to complete it successfully up to the end. Of course, that you invest yourself seriously during the entire program, but basically, once you get admitted, you're not running a risk in that sense. All right. So these were my key messages, and of course, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Klaus, for your thorough and well all-round feedback on this. Very good. I'm sure they're very helpful for a lot of students who are thinking about it right now. And so, yes, you indicated as well, we have now opened the floor basically for questions. So anyone can submit their questions through the Q&A panel on the right. So at the right bottom, you see the Q&A panel. You click on it, it will open, and you can write your questions there. This way, it's all visible through two of the presenters. And I already have some questions that came through, so I'll read them out. So first of all, there's Patrick. Patrick wants to know when the next program courses will commence. Antje, Carolina.
Yes. When it comes about the planning, so the next MBA session will start mid-August this year. Is that we provide you with those 3 weeks of intensive language courses. They start the last 3 weeks, the last week of August and the 2 first weeks of September. Then MBA itself kicks off mid-September, and you have courses including the business project and the consulting project until the end of June 2013. You still have to go through your MBA thesis, or what we call individual project, that you have to submit and defend until October 2013. And you are done, and get a graduation ceremony happens then in May 2015.
Thanks for that on the time. There's another question from Truyen. First of all, is this a general MBA and some of the advantages? I think we've touched on it, but maybe restate that.
Sure. Summarize what we've said. So yes, this is a general MBA with a special, let's say, focus on change and innovation. What does it mean, change and innovation? It means that you cover everything that a general MBA provides you, and also through the business project and the consulting project and some specific courses, you get some knowledge, or a lot of knowledge, about how to manage change in organizations and how to manage innovation. It means that companies today don't want to keep the status quo anymore. So you have to, that's what we call internal change management. And at the same time, we don't want to do business as usual. And that's what we call the need for innovation. Okay, you will have some insight on that, but it's globally a general MBA. What is advantage? So we have been going through it, but mainly the major advantage or difference is that the MBA, our MBA, gives you a lot of insight and learning about finance, marketing, whatsoever, but mainly focused on the leadership skills, on self-development, development, clarifying your strengths and weaknesses as a leader of tomorrow. It's really about cutting, fighting arrogance, and creating the new leaders of tomorrow.
Thank you for information into it, Carolina. Second part of this question is asking about any business opportunities with European enterprises as well. We had Claus, of course, a great example that there are definitely very good business opportunities when from MBA. Would you like to some additional input that, Carolina or Antje?
The European enterprises, we have a strong corporate network with them. What we do is that we adapt to the professional project of the participant, whether it's to stay in Europe or to go abroad. We adapt our network on that. So I would rather look at things from the participant perspective much more than from the network we have at the European level here in the school.
What are the necessary credentials that are required?
Yeah, maybe this an
answer. On the website also, but what we would basically ask for is a valid undergraduate degree for arts equivalent, minimum of 3 years work experience. Of course, as the classes are in English, a good command of English, some knowledge of management. This is more for you also to succeed in the class than for us. Unlike and what we this during the admission is also your professional project and your professional ambition to work in an international environment. This is the reason to do an MBA. Is basically that you want to work internationally, and then somehow to demonstrate your potential. Mostly for the application, what you will need to fill out is the application form on internet. Ask you to explain your motivations to do an MBA and to do it with us. They will ask for your resume as well, and of course we would need some transcripts of your last diploma. Then you should provide 2 professional recommendation letters. Applicants the Marge, which is a test for the management capacities, or GMAT, which is English equivalent. To the English proficiency, the TOEIC or TOEFL. And as I mentioned earlier, you will have, and Claus also mentioned it, interview with myself during the admission procedure, and the last step will be with Claus Serrano and admission to the program.
Okay, thank you for that. Another question from Natalie that came. Actually, it's directed to Claus. How old were you when you followed MBA? And she asked that, of course, in regards to how did the age diversity work? Which you covered.
Good. So actually, I just did the 35. How did the age diversity work? Well, actually, I would extend that to diversity general. How did this diversity work? And I would say it worked really well, because what I could experience from this diversity is how much information it provides. Actually, diversity is of fantastic value, and we had diversity in many senses, not only in terms of age, but also culturally. We had people from a continent, and it was really a great experience, a very valuable experience point for me to work with. It used to work with all this diversity and to experience indeed how much inspiration this provides.
Much for that addition as well. and also says thank you. So I
Welcome.
appreciating it. Good. So you can still submit any questions through the Q&A panel that you find on the right, where all of the presenters see it as well. So thank you. Anything that you're still your chance to ask anything that you'd like to know, why join this program, or anything on the experience from Claus. Actually, Natalie had another question that was sent through. Can you say more about the Milan design session, please?
Sure. So the Milan session is when we signed up. Do you hear?
Yes.
Okay. When we signed up the partnership with Politecnico Milano, we did it because Politecnico is specialized on design management. And design management as Italians see design management, which is somehow different than how French people see it. And there is a very interesting professor there, Roberto Berganti, who is also teaching at Harvard, and he is teaching a 3-day intensive course in February, and you join this course that is dedicated to the Politecnico Milano MBA students. So you go there. When I say 1 week, it's because most time you take a couple of days also to visit some companies in Milan, and you go all together, the whole class together. There is one person organizing, let's say, the logistics and centralizing them, and our colleagues at MIP welcome you for those 3 days.
Thank you for the question. And that's very interesting to Natalie as well. So that's good to hear. Good. Thank you. There's another question that came through to me actually directly. A question: how much do I have to expect for housing costs when living in a small apartment? Okay. You can say something, and possibly Claus after that as well, as he obviously has experienced that.
Yeah. I just say what we say to all our people, but we calculate that you need about 600 to 900 euros a month to live in a small apartment in Aix-en-Provence. Okay, and you have to count on this for 11 months, so from August 2013 until end of June 2014. Yes, so it means 11 months. Maybe you can also share a flat. So many possibilities. This is why the range is quite open, and our international department can also provide you with some support on that. You can either rent your own flat or share a flat, or even find some student rooms also around Aix-en-Provence.
Thank you for anything to, or simply confirm that it's...
Yeah, simply confirm. I have nothing to add because I didn't live by myself. Actually, I was already married by that point in time.
That sounds like a reasonable the cost too as well, I think. Yeah. Question from my son, if I say that correctly. Is it possible for me to pursue my education leading PhD in management by attending your program?
Repeat, Claus. Luke?
Sure, we'll send it through to the chat as well. To me, is it possible for me to pursue my education leading PhD in management by attending your program? So to do that next to the program.
Well, from time to time, since for 20 years now, we have had about 3 or 4 MBAs that once having completing the MBA had decided to enter the doctoral program and go through the PhD. So it's absolutely yes. Now, studying an MBA, it's a very different, let's say, project than studying a PhD. It means that in between, we will invite you to follow some courses on research methodology so that you're able to enter a PhD correctly, because the MBA helps you to develop your system thinking. As for the PhD, you need to develop more your analytical methodological thinking. Okay? So it needs that you will have to go through the Master of Research in between.
Another question just came through from Lydia. I would like to know a little bit more about the consulting project. How the companies and issues to the consultancy are chosen, and how was Claus's experience in this kind of project? We felt how it was received by the company. So maybe the first part to you, Carolina, how the company issues to consultancy are chosen.
Sure. So the consulting project, we don't only work with consultancy firms. We work with any type of company that has an organizational issue to face. And the MBA participants work as junior consultants. And most of the time they find the companies by themselves. We provide with our own network, and it's part of the exercise to convince, to make the prospective work or convincing or selling the mission to the company. They usually, I let now Claus talk about it, but companies are really keen and looking for this type of experience because they get a lot of support from MBA students, and they are extremely happy. Every year, once they have the flavor of one of the experience, they come back the year after to propose some further missions. But let's listen to Claus about that.
Yeah, so absolutely, it is really up to us to find a company, and what it really take pride from is that southern France is just fantastic. There are so many companies around, in particular small and medium-sized companies, and in our case, we found a mid-sized company the area around Aix-en-Provence, and they were indeed very keen on getting a fresh view on their marketing issues, and so they were really happy to welcome a team of students that, as you said, Carolina, worked as junior consultants in that field. And for them it was really inspirational because it helped them to mark their own view against some completely independent view. So indeed they were really happy to have this opportunity to cooperate with the Aix-en-Provence and with the MBA in particular. And I all enjoyed that because in our team we perceived that this could also result in job opportunities. So that's always an important aspect, and I believe that the EA is very safe in that regard. So when students feel that there is a job opportunity coming up throughout this kind of project, then the EA makes everything happen such that we can get this opportunity. We really agree on a suitable topic, and that's really a win situation for both the company and for the students. So
okay, good to hear. Thank you very much. That's clear. We have another question from Patrick. For people coming from Africa, will the MBA program assist in the visa processing? What do you think about that, Carolina? Or Antje?
Yeah, sure. So we have our international department through Robbie Bresso, and she's used to support you where you come from Africa or from wherever else, to assist you the visa processing, to provide with the documents you might need, okay, everything you might need, so that you are able to come to France. Last year, for instance, we had one person coming from Turkmenistan, and she made her decision quite late in the year. It was done by June, And in August, she was able to be in France because the international department supported her very, very strongly on getting her visa ready.
Great for that. That's hopefully for him. There's another question. I just sent it through to your chat as well. A question from my son. How long does a Master of Research take? Research project.
Research takes 1 year. It's a 1-year program. Now, if you have done your MBA here, we ask you to follow only 1 semester because the methodological semester. The major and minor oriented semester is about content on HR, on OB, on strategy, and you will have got enough information about this during the MBA time.
Okay, thank you much. Out to you, Carolina. Just I don't have any further questions, but there might be any questions sent to you directly through the chat. There's an option. If you open this, you will see 1 or 2 questions that I sent you, but there might be.
By my son, and it's not about the life cost for a couple. Yeah, I would say that the life cost for a couple is very close to what I mentioned before. When it comes to finding a flat, it's about 600 to 900 euros per month, globally speaking, including life. Maybe a little bit more because you're 2 instead of 1, but I mean the difference is not very important.
Thank you. And the floor is still open for any questions to any of the presenters. So if you have any question that you're wondering about, or if you joined later that you perhaps missed, so now's your time to sessions. People that joined a bit later, I'd like to mention that we have recorded this session, so we will send it to you automatically. The next day you will receive the link to review it, so you can watch it, or if you missed it, and also you can share it with any of your network that you think is interesting for any of your friends. Do that. Another question from Livia: is it necessary to register at Campus France, especially regarding visa issues?
Well, I say that necessary is not, but getting in touch with, I don't know, Olivia, where you come from, but maybe you can mention the country you come from, but contacting Campus France can be interesting to get a lot of, from Brazil, yeah. Get in touch with Campus France will help you get a lot of information about how to make your visa transaction faster, but not a necessity as such.
Okay, good. I hope that's Livia for that question. And I received a question just earlier on, just to mention that somebody was wondering if they were the only person joining. That's definitely not the case, but you just don't see the others. So there are, that's for privacy reasons basically. But yeah, from different countries, as you just heard all the questions from the different people. Still a last round for any questions you might have. To round off, actually, you can still think of it something. I will open up a question to all of you. So, I'd like to ask, because we were curious about this, what does leadership mean to you? So you see it on your screen on the right, and now you can submit your brief answer there. And this MBA program in the last hour or so, and It's great to hear your quick, brief inputs on what leadership means to you. You could at the bottom. The majority of you have already started answering it. While doing that, and people are thinking about it and submitting their answers, there's another question. Natalie, what are deadlines for registrations and etc.? So maybe you can elaborate a little bit on the deadlines, Carolina.
Of course. About the registration, the application, what applications are going on, the process is currently going on. So, for instance, we had now some interviews through Antje and myself. This week we had 4 people already going through. Now, what counts for us is to tell you when is you do it as early as possible. Why? Because as Antje mentioned to you, the application form is quite extensive. It means that you have to go through your own application form, the recommendations letter, you need to have the GMAT score, the TOEIC or the TOEFL score, so on and so forth. And this takes time. So the earlier you start with this, the better for you. And for those of you who are coming from third countries, you also have to manage your visa application. So all this bureaucratic time. So it depends on each of the countries, but the earlier you do that, the better for your organization. Okay, but we don't have a deadline. We are open to receive your applications until the end of June.
Okay, thank you. Natalie is saying the same. Good to hear. I see already a lot of you have already submitted the brief call leadership. Some of you are still thinking and filling it out. So that's still allowed for any questions as well. Didn't think of. Well, I can also indicate that you'll be directed to the sites of the program after this webinar. So you'll get there automatically. So you can find any other information still there, as applying directly for the MBA. Still any questions? We can take these. I would like to thank first of all for today's time, for putting the program. Of course, Carolina and Antje, both of you for being available and giving the clear presentation and input on the program. Very much, as well as of course Claus for making your time available. 8:15 now for you. It's getting dark, I think, in Sofia Antipolis.
Yes, it does.
So thank you very much for your good input. So that will be, I'm sure, it's very valuable to students thinking about applying, and that's appreciated. And last but not least, I'd like to, of course, to thank the audience, everybody who joined today's session. So for making it available. And if you have any further questions, you can still on the screen reach any people from the IAE Aix Graduate School of Management, Marion for personal information, and there's Antje who was with us today. So, Carolina, I don't know if you'd like to say some final words, closing words for the session. And,
yes, I'll be happy to answer all your questions, and more so also to give you some feedback or advice about your professional project, which ultimately it's a life project, and that's all what it's all about with this MBA. It's about what do you want to do in your future, not only 1 year from now, but in 5 and 10 years from now. That's what will make the difference, and that's how you are going to really use the MBA to serve this general life project. And I really would like to thank Claus. Claus is an MBA graduate who is always to support us. He's not the only one doing so, but I know he has his own family, and I really deeply thank you for this. I thank also Antje. Antje is part of the team, and it's the same. She has been very much involved in making this evening happen, and I really, it's a nice way by all of you listening to me to say thank you, because I really think that thanking those who really give and help is extremely important. Luke, I thank you too.
And thank you, everybody. So we'll see you soon in Aix-en-Provence.
Yeah, great pleasure as well for me. Thank you very much. It was a great evening. Thanks.
Bye-bye, everybody. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.